If you want to lose weight, you should just eat less, right? That's what the media will have you think. That's what your friends would tell you. Why are you being lazy? Why can't you just prep and log and weigh and measure? Why can't you just make better choices? Well, it's a lot harder than it seems, right? We have to take into account your metabolism. We have to take into account your activity level, your hormones. All sorts of different things affect weight loss. So each person's plan needs to be very different. And that's how we approach things here. We need to sit down and figure out what is the ideal exercise regimen for you, right? So weight loss is a combination of things. The gym inside, our workouts are what make us stronger. They make us faster. They help with hormone regulation and cortisol. They are going to make you feel like you have more energy because we get all of those endorphins. But where we make changes for body composition, so where we add muscle, where we lose body fat, where we lose weight, that happens from the fuel that we put into our body, from our food. So we need both components in place for a good weight loss plan if that's what your goal is. We can't do one or the other. You cannot out-train a bad diet. At the same time, if you are just eating well and not moving your body, you're losing out on a ton of feel good, a ton of empowerment that's gonna make you wanna continue on your journey. So exercise, let's start there. When it comes to losing weight, we need to make sure that we're burning more calories than we're eating. Now, how many calories your body burns is highly individualized based on your metabolism, your age, your gender, how frequently you can eat throughout the day. So we need to make sure that when we are moving, that we are burning as many calories as we can if weight loss is our goal. Now, the good news is that functional training, weight training, strength training, cardio are all great ways to burn calories. You do not need to walk on a treadmill for an hour. You don't have to sit on a bike. You don't have to go and swim if you don't want to. That is called steady state cardio. And yes, it is one way to burn calories. But just as effective is a boot camp class or a CrossFit class. In fact, it is more effective. The studies out there show that high intensity interval training will burn more calories minute for minute than going for a run, going for a swim, hopping on the bike for an hour. So at Loco, what we're gonna do is mix and match both steady state cardio, so we can go to a cycle class and sit on the bike for 45 minutes, with high intensity interval training, right? Functional training, be that CrossFit class or boot camp class. And when you come in, you're gonna sit down with a coach and we're gonna talk about your goals, and we're gonna identify really quickly that weight loss is something that you want. And based off that conversation, we're gonna give you a prescription. We're gonna tell you, hey, I think you should come to a cycle class, a boot camp class, and a CrossFit class each week for the next couple months until we have our next sit down and can review what happened. And when you come back in, we're gonna retest your biometric data. We're gonna look at what happened with your weight, what happened with your muscle mass, your body fat, how did your body composition shift, so that we can make adjustments to those workouts if we need to do that. So that would be the workout side. But like I said, when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to your body changing physically, so your clothes fit differently, you look differently in the mirror, what matters most there, and I would say 80% compared to the 20% is your workout, 80% is your nutrition. It is the food that you are putting in your body. And so when you come in for that initial session, we're gonna talk to you about what nutrition looks like for you right now. What times of day are you eating throughout the day? Do you eat breakfast? Do you eat snacks? Are you eating a certain way? Do you eat keto or paleo? Are you drinking shakes? Like, what does it look like right now? So that we can start to figure out what is appropriate for the next step. And that's key. With nutrition, trying to change everything all at once is a recipe for disaster. We need to make sure that we are emotionally ready to make these changes. And changing everything all at once is going to add a ton of stress to your life. And most people cannot sustain that. And that's why we see people that do really, really, really well for 2, 3 months, 6 months, even a year. And then something happens in their life and they go right back to where they started and then some. And people are on this wave of, I'm doing great, I fall off the wagon. I'm doing great, I fall off the wagon. And that generally happens because you're trying to do too much too fast. Or we're not addressing the underlying issues that you have with food. And so what we do at Loco, after we have sat down and figured out what you're doing now, is we use what's called intuitive eating to help you with your nutrition. So we've got a registered dietitian on staff. Her name is Kayla. And she uses intuitive eating, which is just digging in to your relationship to food, better understanding your cues for hunger, your cues for fullness, what it means to take time to actually pay attention when you're eating your food. What little seeds of diet culture are in your brain that are not serving you? You heard that X, Y, and Z worked for this famous person, and so you know that that's the way. Or you think that carbs are bad because that is what is in the media all over the place and keto works for everyone. These are all things that are simply not true. And they take reprogramming because we hear them time and time and time again. And so it is our job to help you realize what is driving your behavior when it comes to food. So we know we have this goal to lose weight, but when the rubber meets the road, where we sit down and we actually make that food decision, do I eat McDonald's or do I eat a healthy meal that I made at home? You're choosing McDonald's every once in a while, maybe more than you would like. Why is that? It's because you're an emotional being. And there is something in you that is driving you to make that choice that is counter to the goal that you have stated. Intuitive eating unpacks what that is. Kayla calls it nutritional counseling for a reason. It is very much like a counseling session. We're digging in deep so that we can change the underlying beliefs that you have about food, change the person that you are as it relates to your food. And if we can make those character changes, if we can make your values change around food, we no longer have this up and down because there's nothing to go back to. You have changed as a person and it'll be permanent. And you're done with that crazy roller coaster ride. So that is sort of our nutrition approach. And when you come in for that intro appointment, what we're gonna figure out is, do we want 4 sessions with Kayla? Do we want 8 sessions with Kayla? And this is a one-on-one service where you come into her office and you sit down and you're gonna leave with a care plan. And you're gonna leave with habits to focus on for the next month. We have everything go into this platform called Healthy. It's HIPAA compliant to make sure that your data stays safe. Everything is protected. And when you log on there, you'll have a messenger that connects to Kayla so she can help hold you accountable. You can ask questions. Your care plan is going to have different worksheets or exercises for you to work on over the course of the month. There's a food journal in there where you snap a picture of your food and you're gonna rate your hunger, scale of 0 to 10. And then after you finish, you're gonna rate your fullness, scale of 0 to 10. Then there's an emoji selector. How are you feeling when you ate that meal? And then any notes. And we don't have everybody do this. It's really something that you need to be ready for, but it's a really cool tool to learn what behavior do I take when I'm feeling a certain way. And if we can start to connect those dots, that is a very powerful tool. So that is how we deal with weight loss at Loco. It is a 2-pronged or really even 3-pronged approach where fitness, one piece of that puzzle. How can we maximize calorie burn and also make sure that you feel great doing it? Then nutrition, Sitting down one-on-one with a coach that is not going to force you to weigh and measure, log, track food. Everything that you do, you will want to do. That is how our sessions are structured, because if you don't want to do it, you're not going to do it anyway. So we're going to put in place those action steps, hold you accountable to actually doing them, and have communication throughout the month that you're not sitting one-on-one with Kayla in her office. Then that third big piece of the puzzle is the mindset change. The underlying emotions being adjusted so that we don't end up going back to who we were or where we were when we started that journey. Then one more just came to my mind. That fourth piece, which is also a pillar at Locomotion, is relationships. So having that support system, both your friends, your other members that you come to classes with, who are going to know what your goals are and that you're working towards something and doing work with Kayla so that they can check in and help you along the way. And your relationship with me and the other coaches and Kayla, who are really here to show you that we care and to see you and to make you feel supported. Because we know this isn't an easy journey, and we know that ultimately it is so worth it. And we would love to help if this is one of your goals. So go ahead and book that intro, and I will see you soon.